Good afternoon, everyone. Tractorman 44 back again. This is kind of drug on for a little bit, but there's been some extraneous activities, so to speak, that kind of has taken some of my time lately. But anyway, hey, I'm putting this barbecue pit back together, and I didn't get to show you before because I inadvertently lost that lead-in video and had to redo it and kind of forgot what all I said. But anyway, I'm putting this thing back together and kind of give you an idea what's up underneath here, where those orifices and everything go. Okay, remember we re-drilled 4 of those orifices. This here is one of the main burner orifices right here, and it's I don't know that you can tell, but it's not threaded in all the way. I'm getting ready to tighten that up in just a second. Here's the sear element, or the sear burner, which was the little larger diameter to give you a little hotter burner. The rest of them were, I forgot how many BTUs, 7,140. This was like 9,000 something. I don't know. I'd have to look back in the video and see. And then here is burner number 3 right here, and it too is not drawn all the way up yet. And then here is burner number 4 right over here, and I think I've got that one already drawn in. You can see how nice and snug it is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna reach up in here, kind of working blindly, but get the little gear wrench on it. We just spin that thing in there till she's snug. Once we get those in, those burner, the ventures of the burners just slide right down over top of those spuds. And there we go. That's pretty snug. Let's go right over here to this one. Uh-oh. I can get that a little bit by finger. There we go. Again, remember I talked to you about being real careful with your solder. You don't want to clean the outsides of those threads before you solder, because if your flux drips down over those threads, it's going to ball them all up with solder, and you ain't going to get these things back in here. See how nice it's drawn up now? Here's the very first one here. There we go. We'll get that tightened all up, and then I'll get those burners on there. I'll try to get one stuck on the camera, but it is kind of difficult to do. I got to reach over the top, and I got to line this all up. There it's kind of coming in. It's going to be difficult for me to do, you know, with one hand and trying to film it. But at any rate, that burner venturi will slide right over that spud, and then it'll bolt down into the front of the pit. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and attach all those and get ready to put the propane regulator on and fire this cotton picker up, and let's see what's going to happen. Might have some last minute adjustments, things like that. Might be some air adjustments and stuff. But at any rate, I'll be back in a little bit. For now, Tractorman 44 is out of here. Tractorman 44 back again. You know, one of the coolest things about this old barbecue pit, the fact that it was connected to natural gas, it had a really nice, long, flexible gas line that was installed by the gas company, the natural gas company, way back in Arkansas, down where my brother-in-law moved from before he moved to Boston. But the cool thing, like I said, about having that big old long flexible hose is when I go ahead and put this regulator on there, you know, and tie it in, we have a quick connect right here, you know, that can take it apart, and also your normal fitting right here. But man, it's just really cool because this is going to allow us to hook it up to a 100-pound cylinder. You don't have to mess with these little old 20-pound tanks anymore. You can just pull this right out the hole in the back and then hook this thing up to a big old 100-pound cylinder, or maybe even a pair of 100-pound cylinders manifolded together. But at any rate, this thing is done. So let's take a look inside here. I'm just going to go ahead and turn this first burner on, and I'm just going to tap the little igniter. There goes the first one. Here's the Sear Burner. We'll turn the Sear Burner on, tap the igniter, and here comes burner number 2, which is, it looks like burner number 3, but it's actually burner number 2, or the center burner, and then the final burner down here. These things here have individual igniters on on all the burners that all spark whenever you push the button for one. It lights all of them at the same time. But at any rate, I would say the operation is pretty much a success. Looks like a pretty good grill, and like I say, it had very little use on it. It only looks a little gnarly because it's kind of been in my shed for a couple years while I got around to it. But at any rate, now I get to put all this stuff back together, and I don't know, I'm gonna see if we can get some pork steaks put on this thing this evening from some of them fresh cut pigs we just butchered up this weekend. But at any rate, this Tractorman 44, man, I'd say the operation was a success. Sorry for the long drawn out videos, but sometimes you kind of got to go to LA via Omaha. Man, this Tractor Man 44. I'm out here. Tractor Man 44 back one last time, I promise. You know, like with any project, dang, you think you're about done, but there's always one more thing. And sure enough, there was. I completely forgot about that side burner. But at any rate, hey, give you a little bit of an overview. Here's that whole grill. It's really a pretty nice grill. It's a Weber. I don't know. I don't even know how they rate these things, you know, but I think it's a pretty good one. It's anti-flare-up and all that. But I told you, you know, it was just a season old or maybe a couple of years old at the very most when we got it from my brother-in-law. But it's still got the utensils, and I don't think the utensils have been used. They just got dust and stuff on them from sitting around inside my shop. But at any rate, I got it all back together and got those burners inside, you know, completely fired up and running fine. But you know what I forgot was that side burner. I had to hurry up quick and make one adjustment on the side burner. It still had the natural gas orifice in it. So I went ahead and let me move you a little bit closer here. I went ahead and pulled this apart real quick. Ain't nothing to it. You just pull this off, get this off of here, and pull this off of here. And right down inside, dead center, I don't know that you can actually see that, but right down inside, dead center, is your here's your little brass orifice. Just exact and identical to the ones that we took out on the main burners. And lo and behold, checking around in my junk pile here, if I didn't find the exact orifice, the exact thread, the exact same correct diameter that I needed for the BTU capacity for this little burner. So I was just able to quickly pop that out of there and pop a new one in, and it's converted for LP. So I was really quite happy with that. At any rate, I think I'll fire it up here in just a second and show you how nice that looks too. Okay, so if that works out like I described, should be able to just turn this on, push the button, and ignite it. There you go. No adjustments, no anything. I mean, it's just absolute perfect. Just turn your burner up, turn your burner down, whatever you need to in order to make it work. So at any rate, this Tractor Man 44, and we're going to kick this puppy out the door. Man, I think this thing is done. I'm out of here. Well, I guess it's time to give a little bit of a disclaimer. You know, I put up a few videos. I ain't got a whole lot of them up there. I plan on putting on quite a few more because we kind of do get involved with some pretty silly things. Might even be of interest to some people, you know, other than other rednecks like myself, you know, that like to get by as cheaply as possible. But we want to get by correctly. We don't necessarily want to do anything that's dangerous. And in saying that, I think my disclaimer is the fact that don't assume that simply because I may something look simple, you know, like drilling and soldering those orifices and re-drilling them the correct size, going through the charts and figuring out what size of those orifice drills, you know, to select in order to get the proper BTU capacity. Doesn't mean that it's that quick and simple, you know, for somebody that's not reasonably familiar with the tools of the trade and or maybe not be familiar with what it is that we got to do to make this stuff function. So at any rate, to make a long story short, don't try to do any of this, you know, unless you really are comfortable with it, and unless you have the proper tools. Now, I showed you some of those neat little tools that you need in particular to do this kind of stuff at the beginning of the video. And if you don't have access to them, or if you do have access to them but don't understand what it is that you're doing, I wouldn't jeopardize life and limb, nor the pursuit of happiness, you know, trying to convert yourself to save a couple of bucks. Pay somebody to come and do it for you if you can find somebody dumb enough to go and do it, you know. But if you're like myself, dang it, you know, just go ahead and do it. But don't necessarily do what I do, nor do what I say. Just do whatever you do it safely. Yeah, I don't normally talk about do in my videos, but at any rate, I guess I did that particular time. But at any rate, it's Tractor Man 44. It's been a fun project, and I do apologize for it dragging on as long as what it has. But at any rate, hey man, I am out of here.